Now, I don't necessarily expect Corey to be in the lead right out of the chug, but that's still pretty clean. Garrett Cullen usually has one of the fastest chugs of the entire field.
Down.
We got one of the Great Britain runners down, the defending champions, taking an early spill. Don't know what impact that's going to have on team scoring later. Yes, Corey is just scorching the backside of the track.
We barely have a drone fast enough to keep up with Corey Bellemore. He's absolutely destroying this. Obviously a man on a mission. He is out here today to continue his dominance and put this mark even further out of reach of anybody else in the world.
Well, he's going to have to come through this lap and next beer in 1:10 to be on world record pace. So let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got in the tank.
Yeah, so TP's got the world record splits for us, but all you need to see is what's on the screen, and that is Corey Bellemore looking strong as an ox, fit and prepared for this challenge. The fans have their phones out. They know they're here for something special as Corey slows down to grab his beer, pops that bottle cap with his opener.
He's going to be ahead of world record pace right here. Right here. Yep.
Golly, those beers go down fast.
On world record pace. That is awesome. I can't quite see who's in second place right now, but we'll see it on the board here in just a moment when the splits come out. But that's a $1:07. He's 3 seconds under world record pace. Chris Robertson, the hometown hero, also right there in second place, running pretty well. It's not that far behind. It looks bad on the track, but he is running a pretty magnificent time as well.
No, it's an absolutely incredible first 2 beers and 400 meters from Chris Robertson. But right now, it's all Corey Bellemore. All Corey Bellemore. He doesn't appear to be slowing down at all. Each one of these laps, I know he gets out a little bit hard that first lap and sort of settles into pace laps 2 and 3, reserving that charge at the end for a massive 4th lap finish. But Corey Bellemore right now, I mean, I don't even think his breathing doesn't look labored. His face looks relaxed. He's got that opener in his hand like he's running a relay with a baton, TP.
He's looking like he did in Vancouver when he got his world record of 4:24. Disqualified. That was a sub-4 mile he ran. All right, let's see where we are on world record pace right here. He needs to be under 2:18. Under 2:18. I think he's going to have that in spades here. All right, we're 4 seconds. We are 4 seconds below. He did take a bit of a grimace on that last little pull of that one there. I don't know if that's going to slow him down or not, but the guy's a consummate challenger on this thing. He's a gamer. He'll show up.
It appears as though Corey's working his way into this 3rd lap, trying his best to maintain, he's like trying to keep that heart rate nice and low. He knows he has that 4th beer coming up, that all-important 4th beer. We've been talking about it all day, but he looks up to the task right now as he passes the long jump pit with 200 meters to go. This is Corey Bellemore at his absolute finest.
Yeah, he is absolutely busting this race wide open. So I can't tell really where we are in the team races right now, but this is a clinic right now. All right, we're coming down. He needs to be under 3:26 to be on world record pace or better.
And I think in that early scuffle where we saw the Team GB athlete go down, something happened. Corey Bellemore has had a mechanical, if we were watching the Tour de France right now. He's got a flat tire. The guy is on world record pace with 1 spike. This is absolutely incredible. He's blistering the bottom of his foot with every stride.
There it is.
And here goes Corey Bellemore. What does he have?
He is right at world record pace right now. The fact that he's running shoeless, this is amazing. Let's see if he's got the foot speed to be able to do this. He's going to have to run about a 60-second quarter here.
Is this shoeless Joe Jackson out there?
I don't know, but this is exciting. He's already lapping the backside of the field as he's coming down the backstretch right now, just hammering as hard as he can. Do shoes make a difference? That's going to be a good question right here. Is that the difference? I think you're right, though. I think that scuffle cost him a shoe.
Well, we'll let the Reddit boards control that conversation, but right now it's all Corey Bellemore. He needs about a 30-second last 200 to come in right around that world record pace. We got FAT. Nothing can dispute this time when he crosses the finish line. You can see he's in pain. That foot is burning, but he's got 100 meters to go.
100 meters to go. He is right on it. We've got to beat 4:28. Is he going to get it? He's got 10 seconds to make about the last 80 meters. It's going to be tight, but this could be a world record right here. Come on, Corey. Let's see what he's got. Look at that grimace right there. He is coming, and at the line, it's going to be just shy of his world record. I definitely think the shoe played a huge factor right there.
Oh, he is upset. You can see it in his face. That effort, you cannot go back and take that effort away from him. My gosh, if he had 2 shoes, what was he capable of today?
I think he was about 3 to 4 seconds under as Chris comes in on a pretty solid time. Not his best ever today, but that's still, that's sub 5. Like, that's still just an absolute
That's
smoking time. And you got the Australian right there, Finchy.
Australia, Sweden, USA, and USA. USA will be taking the team title today.
Well, we'll see. But I think it's looking pretty strong. Looking pretty strong for them. It's a Nick Finchy without the mustache this year. Put in a sub-5. I'm just curious. I want to see the actual board. I don't have the visual on it yet, but this is just this is great, and we get the last few finishers in there. I think we might have had more people under 5 than we've ever had in any championship race, or just any race ever on the planet.
I mean, what an incredible effort Corey put out there today. We didn't know since, I don't know when he lost his shoe. Maybe we'll get some video evidence of that in the highlights. But my gosh, I've run a race on the track before where I've lost a shoe, and it is not pretty. He's going to be feeling that. I'm guaranteed losing a couple of different layers of skin on the bottom of his feet, but did not stop. It didn't stop him from putting a champion's effort out there and coming just shy of his own world record.
Don't forget, though, we still have the measurements out there. So a lot can change when it comes to this team scoring. So there's a lot of question marks that are still out there. You never know when a team can back their way into a championship, too. Great Britain probably still put together a pretty good team. They look pretty confident there on the sideline. I didn't see how the scoring broke down, though. Hopefully Corey didn't get injured with that, too, because that's a tough row to hoe when you have it on one foot.
Oh, I feel for the guy. I absolutely feel for him. You know, he came out here clearly with the record in his sights. That was his goal for the day. You could see it with how determinedly he took off in the first beer, just setting a what can I say? A world record pace for that the first beer and 2 beers and lap, and
yeah, he was ready to shatter it.
Oh, my heart hurts for Corey, but nonetheless, an incredible performance by our racers out there today, from top to bottom, back to front. I mean, this is my first Beer Mile World Classic, and I'll tell you, this will not be my last.
Yeah, this is it wouldn't be a Beer Mile Classic if there wasn't controversy or some sort of drama. We got the drama right there. We'll wait for the final team scoring on all sides too. We don't know how that's really played out because it takes a while to compile that.
Yeah, we saw no foamy burps from our pros. They can stomach those 4 beers, no problem. We saw just fast running and some of the fastest chugging that I've ever seen in real life. That was just incredibly impressive. But again, so we're doing the team scoring, just to recap, is 3 men and 2 women from each country. It's done on cross-country style scoring, so if you score first, you get 1 point. Low score wins the overall team title. So the professionals over there at VS Athletics they're doing the hard work, they're crunching the numbers, and they'll come back at us with those results here in a second. And we have Corey Bellemore with the interview with Josh right now.
All right. Folks, it is my absolute pleasure to stand next to a legend once again. Corey Bellemore has just won the Beer Mile World Classic. Yet again, the legend continues to grow. Corey, congratulations on a fantastic win here today. But the one thing that folks may not realize is Corey ran one of the fastest ever beer miles wearing 1 shoe. His shoe was torn off at the beginning. He runs amongst bloody stumps of feet. Yet he still runs 4:30 for the beer mile. Corey, it is one of the most impressive displays of athleticism that we have witnessed amongst mankind. Tell us how you're feeling about the win here today.
I mean, it's awesome to be here. Love the support, love what Chris and Adam did to get this event going, and thankful to have family and friends here watching. Wish it went a bit better, but that's all right. It's still a great showing, and great to be amongst everyone here.
Now, Corey, you put a little bit of governor on your speed here today. Let us just think for a moment. 2 shoes. What could have been with 2 shoes? What do you think the potential is that you have in the beer mile?
I don't like to reflect too much on what could have been, but I think the potential for the beer mile could go to the low 420s. When that'll happen, hopefully soon, but I think the top end would be right under 420 or right on 420.
So he's setting himself up for future success. He has nothing left to accomplish except, again, tackling his own inner demons. Corey Bellemore, a fantastic win here today. Come on, man, raise your hands up. Raise your head up high. Beer Mile World Champion once again. Let's give it up for him, crowd.
All right.
Judges, are you ready? Timers, are you ready? Ladies, are you ready? Runners set, chug!
All right, who's going to come out first on this first chug? I guarantee you Laura Ritchie's will be in first place at the end of this first lap. She is an epic burner right at the beginning. Sure enough, she's out there with the first beer, and she will scream through this first lap. She does have a problem, though. She has never qualified because she keeps getting DQ'd. She does not finish her beers, and she's had a couple of reversal of fortunes. But does she get redemption? I didn't call her out at the beginning just because I wanted this to be a surprise to the new viewers out there. But she will open up a big lead here.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, came out like shot out of a cannon. Team GB had the first two athletes off the line with Team USA hot on their heels. But you gotta love to see that, you know, putting down the beers in about 7 seconds and absolutely attacking this first lap. And hot on their heels is our own world record holder, Allison Morgan.
Yeah, she looks really smooth. Right behind her is Melanie Posdahl and Elizabeth Lassiter, all in that fine group. So the Americans are in really good position to take this year's championship. Let's see where we go through this next beer. They're coming down the straightaway right now. Allison Grace Morgan has an interesting chug style. So you'll see this kind of two-handed thing that she does here.
Clearly effective.
Yeah, it works.
What I will also note is that if it didn't come through in the broadcast, the Chicagoland fans here were going absolutely bonkers for Melanie Posdahl. She is a crowd favorite, fan favorite. They loved her here.
We got Elizabeth Lassiter right out in, and she's got a nice big lead right there. She is at 140. It's well behind world record pace right now, but she runs a different style. This was based off of Allison Grace Morgan's former world record. Obviously, that's been broken today, so I would say that we're behind world record pace across the board at this point, but it is still an impressive run right now, and that is a big lead.
You know, when someone runs a world record, maybe that is out of their minds for their race. They're just thinking, just go out and compete, win this dang thing with USA blazoned across your chest. And that's exactly what Elizabeth Lassiter is doing now, trying to go back and rewrite the books from last year.
Well, it's Canada Day right now, but I'm saying it's all USA right now.
Absolutely. USA holding down positions 1, 2, 3 with Team GB occupying the 4th and 6th positions. Listen to those chants as the athletes round under the banner with 100 meters to go on every lap. The fans are absolutely loving this as USA is dominating this women's championship.
Wow, I am really surprised right now at how I thought it was going to be a tighter race. She's putting on a clinic right now. This is a dominating performance. Let's see how she does with her beers. She is a strong chugger. She is really good. Oh, she's got a little bit of foam there. That's going to be a problem.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no. She has this could be disaster for her. The worst thing that can happen, she does have an unusual chugging style where she goes up, down, up, down, up, down. That does cause a lot of churn in the bottle, but that's still pretty quick. I don't think, hopefully the judges won't dock her for the foam up on that, because that was not out of her stomach and she didn't turn it over. That thing just foamed up. You can't control that. But Allison Grace Morgan made up a bit of time on that chug. She does have incredible foot speed, so I don't know. It's not put away yet.
The chugging form of Allison Grace Morgan clearly superior to that of Elizabeth Lassiter, but Elizabeth continues to put distance between herself and a pursuant Allison as they go down the backstretch. I think that her laps are going to be quicker, but again, it's this all-powerful, all-important, and can't get away from it 4th beer that looms in the distance for both of these athletes.
Yeah, she's actually really opened up on Allison Grace. That is, she is a woman on a mission trying to redeem herself from what happened last year. This is impressive.
Absolutely, and it does appear as though the weather gods are shining down upon us here today as Elizabeth Lassiter turns and burns. She's got a nice little tailwind here on the home stretch coming into this last and 4th beer and what could be her first official, we got to wait for the results, World Championship.
All right, she's into that last beer. It's this up and down. This one didn't foam up like the last one. She's probably in good shape. She's just got to get it down the gullet.
It doesn't appear as though there's much, she's not struggling with the beer so much as it's just like, whoa, we really got to get it down. That up and down, it's just not efficient.
Yeah, it's not efficient. She's got to stay mall. She's got to make sure she stays on the line. And, oh, there we go. She's making sure. She's just doing a double check. Doing a double check, but she is out. She is out right now. That is a big lead. I do not see Allison, even with her amazing foot speed, being able to make that close. This race is over.
And you hope we don't have another technicality at the finish line, because Elizabeth Lassiter is pouring herself, all of her being, into this last lap and into this race.
She has absolutely steamrolled this field. This is a dominating performance by Team USA across the board, but on the individual level, I am amazed right now.
This is what we came here to see. This is what the fans came here to see. And as she turns this corner, turns and burns, again, you're going to hear these home country fans giving her everything that she needs for a PR performance, and probably what would be, if it weren't for the previous race that we just witnessed, a world record.
Oh yeah, she is right on pace for it. She's got 30 seconds to go to finish this last 100 meters. This is an impressive run.
The fans are letting her hear it. She's got 50 meters to go. We got toga men and women and the frat boys in the pool cheering her home for a victory.
And there we have it. That shaved off 13 seconds off of what was the old record. That is a absolute dynamite performance right there. As Allie Grace Morgan, she's making her way into the finish line, not far off her personal best. And then we have the hometown favorite, Melanie Posdahl. So that is a 1-2-3 Team USA finish.
Absolutely spectacular. And what I love to see is, as we saw Elizabeth Lassiter crossing the line, a fellow competitor who was struggling getting through her fourth beer, putting that race fist in the air, cheering on her country women. Just what a great event today across the board.
Yeah, and right behind her was Casey. So look at there, look at the camaraderie. A lot of smiles there by Team USA. What dominance right now.
Not a lot that you can say that wasn't already said in the pre-show to this. That prelude just absolutely extolling the virtues of our American women beer milers.
Yeah, and so you probably have Team GBR right there, right behind. The Swedes are still out on the course. They put together a good team as well. Not to look past them. But Laura Riches didn't quite have the race that we were hoping she'd have today. She finished in 7 minutes there. Yeah, it's what a fun race. This was amazing. I just hope the men's race that's coming up is going to be, this entertaining. We'll probably see that type of dominance by Corey, but who knows? Maybe there's a new hero that shows up out of nowhere.
Who knows? A stage has been set for the performance that the fans are expecting from these pinnacle athletes, these beer milers, best beer milers in the world, beer mile men and women. As some of our final competitors in this women's championship event are crossing the finish line, still receiving the cheers of this adulating crowd.
Wow, and we're seeing the results come in. I didn't really hear any big clamor from the gallery out there about any of these girls booting, but I think we're going to be cutting away here in just a moment here for, I'm going to kick it over to Josh for an interview on the field.
Folks, it is a tremendous honor to stand next to the Beer Mile Women's Champion, the World Champion. Today, you saw one of the fastest beer miles ever run, full stop. And we are here with Liz Lassiter. Congratulations on your win, Liz. We know it hurt, but how did it hurt so good?
It always hurts, but it extra hurt this time, and I had a blast. I love this event. I love my teammates. I love the community. I'm so thankful for this event and everyone who puts it on every year. I know a lot of work goes into it, and it gets better and better every year.
Now, Liz, we were watching the clock. That 6-minute barrier is so close. Was it ever in your mind coming into this event that you would get so close to breaking 6 minutes?
It was not, but anything can happen on a day like today. So if it does happen, that's incredible. But this event's so unpredictable. But today just kind of all fell into place.
And tell us about the crowd. What was going on with the crowd today? You can still hear them clamoring in the background. How did they play a role in your win?
Yeah, I mean, the crowd is incredible today. Like, so many people came out. That's incredible. I love that so much. But when you're racing, you kind of block out everything. So I didn't really hear much of anything, but like to see all these people here is incredible. So it gives me so much energy, and I love it.
Well, congratulations, Liz. Whether you were able to block them out, that they could never forget this moment that you gave to them. World Beer Mile Classic Women's Champion, Liz Lassiter!
All right, so that's right. You have Elizabeth Lassiter, the current and now reigning world champion. That cannot be taken away from her. Well, I think the measurements probably came through. I think it's all clean. This is the rest of the field. You have like Catherine from USA. You have Kristen Kadala out of San Francisco making the trip, run more towards the caboose, but it's still fun to see this entire field. Polly Keene, top runner from the GB.
Once a year, a celebrated tradition is held. Athletes from all corners of the world converge on a track to represent both themselves and the glory of their country. This is a hallowed battlefield where the bragging rights won will be passed down to their children and their children's children. We're talking about the Beer Mile. This is 4 beers, 4 laps, and a lot of past gas. Starting out in San Francisco in 2016, this annual race has been all over the world, from London to Vancouver to Berlin to Manchester, then Leuven, Belgium, followed last year in Chicago. This time, we bring the race to Ontario, Canada, where the sport's official rules were formalized, known as the Kingston Rules, and is also a homecoming for world record holder Corey Bellemore here in Windsor, Canada. These athletes will line up, pour that liquid gold down their throats, blaze a 400 meters, and repeat the same thing 3 times. Some can hold it down, but others will have a regrettable reversal of fortune, which brings shame to themselves, their country, and their maker. All are seeking out an individual title, but with country bragging rights on the line too, this year's format will feature Team Canada versus Team USA versus Team World in a winner-take-all effort to capture the coveted Kings and Queens Cups. We're back. It is the 10th edition of the World Beer Mile Classic, where the world's best clash in an epic battle of speed, endurance, and gastric fortitude, or for some, ineptitude.
All right, welcome to Windsor, Canada. I'm your host, Travis Price, here with Lewis Kent. We are excited about today's event. Oh boy, it's going to be it's a little warm out there. I'm not going to lie. It's hot and humid here across the river from Detroit. Lewis, what's your take on today?
Yeah, it's turning out to be a decent day out there. We're looking behind us. There were some threats of some storms today, but looks like it's going to hopefully stay clear for us. So excited for a good day of racing, Travis.
Yeah, no, it's always fun to be back. Once a year, we put this event on, as we saw in the intro. There's a pretty good field. It's maybe a little bit of a smaller field than we've had in some of the past, but some of the legends are here. The fastest people in the world are still here, so that's the most important thing. We're trying to chase down some world records. What's got you the most excited about today?
Yeah, I think the story of today, we're in the hometown of Corey Bellemore, going after that world record again. Last year, a bit of tragedy, losing the shoe right away. 4:30 without a shoe. Hopefully today we're looking at world record with 2 shoes, Travis.
Yeah, and don't forget about the women too. Elizabeth Lassiter trying to break that 6-minute barrier, get the official beer mile record under her belt. So, but some of you back at home may be wondering what constitutes a beer mile. So we want to talk about what that means now.
The beer mile is extremely technical.
It's a gastric competition.
The intersection of speed, strength of your stomach.
It is literally a bunch of crazy human beings running around a track drinking a load of beer.
It involves chugging 4 beers and running 4 laps on a track.
You do a beer, you do a lap. You do a beer, you do a lap. You do it 4 times and then you finish.
And you can't throw up, otherwise you have to run a penalty lap.
Don't treat it like it's going to be a fun thing, because it's not. It hurts.
That part you can't like.
You also got to make sure that you don't leave more than 4 ounces of beer left over. So the key to the beer mile is definitely making sure you pace yourself throughout.
So immediately when the gun goes off, you're in a place of distress.
And the race starts, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing really well, I'm gonna win. And then it gets to like lap 3 and I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna win now.
And everybody races like bats out of hell.
But at no point are you ever confident that you're gonna finish strong, ever. That's part of the beauty of it.
I hate it.
After the beer mile, it's the perfect feeling.
You don't feel drunk during the race, but it's kind of like a couple of minutes immediately after you've crossed the finish line.
And then instantly you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on in my head?
If you haven't tried it, you should do it.
Lewis, I'm glad to have you in the booth this year. You are a legend. You are one of the OGs of the sport, former world record holder. You're the guy who actually legitimately wrote a book about the beer mile. Tell us a little bit about your background and why you're here.
Yeah, happy to be here today, Travis. Thanks everyone for joining us as well. It's our 10th annual Beer Mile World Classic here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. I'm Lewis Kent, former world record holder, the winner of the first annual Beer Mile World Classic as well. Happy to be here. Happy to cheer on some fast running, some fast drinking here today along with you.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And yeah, I'm more what you'd call a little bit of a has-been or never was. Ran track at Texas A&M, so know a bit about it. Been around the sport for quite a long time with the founders, and just happy to keep this event going for as you mentioned, the 10th time. But we had some open races earlier today. Had to do a little bit of a different format because the rules are a little bit different in Ontario, so we had some open races. What are some of the highlights that we had from earlier today?
Yeah, they were great. You can see in the middle of your screen there, Sharkman, he was out there flying, but we had some great performances. Final section, a couple men under 6 minutes, which is flying, so we might see them in the elite field next year, but lots of great running, lots of great drinking, some reversals of fortune. We'll see a lot more of that to come tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we get into some of the championship heats, not everybody is quite as novice about it as we get for some of the entries. But we did see some really fast times. What was I don't recall, what was the fastest time from the open heat?
Yeah, the second last section had a 6:25 in it, but the final one, we were running our way up here. I believe it was something like 5:30. It might have been a little quicker than that, to be honest. So it was fast.
Those are times that can move you up into some of the elite brackets there.
100%.
Yeah. So what would you say for you is kind of that barrier? What's good, what's elite, and what's world class?
Yeah, if you show up to, I'll never forget a few of the beer miles I did before were just with general running groups, triathlon groups, and if you can break 10 minutes, that's a fantastic time. Tonight in every race we saw, it was sub-8, sub-7, sub-6 in the end. So I think a really good time is under 10 minutes for, if you have a group of 100 people out, you're probably only going to get 10 people who break 10 minutes. But then, obviously, great would be, under 6:30. And then, elite, you're getting under 5:30. You're in the top heat here tonight. So,
yeah. And, of course, we've got from the men's side, we have the world record holder with Corey Bellemore. We also have the American record holder with Chris Robertson. And we've got a fairly decent deep field kind of across the board. But we're also doing things a little bit different this year in terms of the team championships, because this is not just an individual title. There is a team title on the line. In the past, we've also done things where, in the past, it was always individual countries. This year, it's Team USA versus Team Canada versus Team Europe.
Correct. Yeah, it's going to be a 3-way team contest out there. So this competition's more for the team glory, but definitely individual glory on hold as well. We'll see if multiple national records could be broken here tonight as well, Travis. So we'll see what the night unfolds, both on the men and women. As you said, under 6 minutes on the women, still yet to be done in the official heat here. So we'll see if that can unfold tonight as well.
That's right. We're getting ready. It looks like I'm looking over my shoulder. The athletes are getting ready. We'll be starting the first race here in about a minute. And this is the Legends and Elite Heat. So we've got some of the people that weren't quite on their A squad, but also some of the all-time classics like John Markle here representing the seniors in this one. And we're getting lined up now.
There we go. And I think our top seed times in this section kind of sit around 5:30, mid 5:30. So they'll be looking to do about 80 seconds a lap, including the beer. That's a 5:20 pace. So we'll see how they do as they go along. And got some pretty international. You'll see there in the middle of the field, Croatia got some representation over from Europe as well. As you said, John Markle on the inside there. So we'll see how they do down on the track.
And I think we're about ready to begin. There we go. We have just started. Now keep an eye on John Markle. He's walking right up to the line. He's a great chugger. He sits, I believe, third for the master or for the seniors all-time record. Right now he's a little off his game. He had surgery last year. He's been fighting a little bit of injury, a little bit of gaminess there, but looking forward to seeing how these athletes just move around. And not a bad start from the Croat. So it's the first time we've had one of them in one of our heats before.
And it's awesome to see. The greatest thing about the Beer Mile World Classic is it brings people from all around the world. We're sitting here in southwestern Ontario in Canada, and we've got people from Croatia, Portugal, all around the world.
Absolutely. What we don't have this year, though, is someone from Australia.
We're missing out on our friend Charlie Blanche. Charlie Blanche did not quite make it out this year. He's a legend in the beer mile world, so hopefully we'll catch him out next year. But we have an American here pulling into the front here.
Yep, that's William Purifoy. This is his first ever beer mile classic, I believe. Though he might have been in Chicago last year, but he is out there. That's not a bad time. So that's beer and lap at 1:15. Let's see what he gets for this.
And 1:15's 5 flat pace, coming in with a 5:37. But for everyone to know, okay, the brakes are what hurts you.
Yeah,
so in the elite fields here, we're looking for our Croatian friend there, Igor. He came down in one beer.
Yeah, you put that beer down, it really puts you behind because, as you know very, very well, it foams up a lot. I mean, I'm only a 7:06 guy. I'm not that fast. But what do these elite athletes do in their chugs?
Yeah, and you'll see in the elite men's field for sure, a good chunk of the elite women, you got to get it down in one go because as soon as you take it away from your mouth, you start burping, you need a breath of air. It takes your chug from 6 seconds to 12 immediately. So we'll be looking to see what happens out here, but we've got our friend William Purifoy back in front, 5:37 PB or PR known in the States. And you know what? We'll see what he's at halfway. You will see between our Legends event, women's elite, men's elite, they will always be ahead of pace. In a regular mile, you're always a little ahead of pace. In the beer mile, you're always a lot quicker in the front half because the beers get harder and harder. The hardest thing at the beer mile, in my opinion, is being out of breath and trying to hold your breath for 6 to 12 seconds to chug a beer.
Yeah. And we're coming through on second lap here in the Legends and Emerging Athletes heat. Going through, you'll see them decelerate. They try to catch their breath. They try to get a little bit more smooth about it. Let's see if he can do it in one swig this time.
Looking good so far. A little break there, though.
Yep.
Oh, little burp. Definitely want to keep it down.
He's got to do it. It's okay. Some people can do it. You don't want to go into 3 because that's where the bottles start churning. Igor is still right in the mix right there, too. We got Leo from Team Germany. He's in this race. Mark Dowdle, he's one of the new guys. Actually, he's a friend of Corey's, right?
Yeah.
Brought him in for today. Always good to be vouched by one of the best in the world.
And I think it's important to note that Will there, he's taking 2 attempts at the beer in a very controlled way, which he clearly knows he's done this before. So his beers are maybe taking him. We'll see what he does the next time, but he's not losing too much time because he's drinking, taking a controlled break, then drinking again. If you've ever been to an amateur beer mile, you'll see people take 6, 7, 10 attempts at finishing a beer. So Will's doing a great job here. We'll see how he's doing coming into this last beer, but he was on about 5:20 pace when he came around the last time.
Absolutely. I've been in that boat before. I put it down, it's over.
Yeah, so here's our leader so far in the Legends and Emergings heat, William Purifoy from the U.S.
Yep, and we also have Reed Lyon out of San Francisco. He's also in this race, so I want to make sure that everyone gets noticed here. So we are coming around. This is not a bad time. He's coming around at 4:08, 4:09, so we're probably I'd say about 5:45 pace. Would you put it about that?
Yeah, he has a chance here. So his personal best, as we've got on paper here, is 5:37. If he can get this down pretty quickly and have a good last lap, he might be on pace for that. So it looks like he's good.
Yeah, let's see if
there's Reed.
That one out.
Reed and John.
Yeah, Reed and John.
Duking it out, both also doing very well. As Travis mentioned there, John had surgery recently, so John's plugging along pretty well out there.
Yeah. Now, needed to have someone represent the Masters and Seniors out there, so couldn't have Todd Rose, one of the perennial greats of the sport. He's actually the current world record holder for 50 plus.
Yes.
So, and then obviously John being here, and it's always great having that age range representation.
John looks to be closing up on the field here, so John might be in a little better fitness than he was telling to us.
Yeah, this is looking better than he thought. And then don't forget Jim Finlinson, who also is in here. He's a former seniors world record holder, masters world record holder, and the world record holder former in the beer 2 mile.
Correct.
The guy is a machine.
Absolute animal. Jim Finlayson, a legend of the sport. Here is William Purifoy coming through the finish line. He's going to be right around his personal best. Better go right through the line there. Looks like 4:34 high, 4:35 low.
Yeah,
5:35.
Yeah,
sorry.
5:35. Didn't have the big surprise that we had last year. We had Bud Lightning just completely surprised the field with that 5 flat that he ran last year. And it's important for the audience to note this race counts because we can only fit so many people on the track in the A heat. Everybody from every country counts. This is team scored, just like cross country. So what you'll see here, some of these people may end up counting.
Yeah, 100%.
You got John Markle coming through, and that's 6:10. Not bad for him. Reed right behind. So,
hey, he kicked Reed down there.
Yeah, did kick him
Big
down.
old kick in John there. So that was our Legends and Emerging Elites section. Our first of 3 here on the live stream. Up next will be the women.
Yeah, look at them hugging it out. It's always great to see the camaraderie that comes out of this sport, the sportsmanship. So we'll get an interview here with William here in a few minutes.
We're hoping to have him up here in the booth.
Yeah, have him up here in the booth.
And yeah, you'll see there. Hopefully, we may or may not get a camera angle from the team here at some point. But the stands is pretty packed here. There you go. You can see it right around the Chug zone. Believe we're expecting about 500 to 1,000 people here tonight cheering us on. So
yeah, it's what you don't see is what's off camera because there's a beer garden and DJ and whole thing set up on the left, which is a lot of fun, and it's a great crowd. It's always great to come back to Canada to do this. It's the second time here. We had it in Vancouver in 2018. So there's our winners here, William Purifoy and 5:34.74.
3 under 6 minutes, very respectable.
Very respectable, very respectable.
You can imagine. I imagine most of our listeners right now to either run 4 laps of the track or drink 4 beers under 6 minutes would be a pretty difficult task. So pretty impressive out there.
You could legitimately say one or the other for the general populace. Hey, who can run under a 6-minute mile? Or who can drink 4 beers in under 6 minutes?
Probably very few can do either in under 6 minutes. So that's kind of the talent level we've got out here. And 10th annual Legends and Emerging Elite section. Here's our replay.
So on the replay here, you see John Markle, just a consummate beer chugger. Just super fast right out the gate. Might not have his legs under him, but the Croatian Igor out there really, really quick as well. I didn't see or hear of any reversal of fortune, so I think it was a pretty clean race, but William, got to give it to him. Got out there, did his job, got those beers open, got them down smooth. It's fine that you do it in 2 poles. Is once you get into that 3, 4, 5, that's when the struggle bus starts to happen. And you can see his frustration because he wanted to get that second beer down in 1 clean slug, and that's where he fell a little bit. Cost him a few seconds there, but
100%.
Really put it together.
I think for William, the next big step is, I think when people first start doing the beer mods, if you can get it down in 4 goes or then 3 goes, for him, I mean, if he can just learn to get that down, it's harder than it sounds, but if he can learn to get that down in 1 single pull each time, he's in the elite section. He's saving 15 seconds.
What would you say about his technique, other than the fact that he put it down?
Great. He looks solid there. You're going to notice throughout tonight, everyone has a bit of a different technique. That looked pretty solid. Some like it a little more flat. You'll see Corey Bellemore himself goes a little taller, a little more vertical with his pour. As long as that beer's coming out in 5 to 7 seconds, it's whatever's comfortable. But he looked nice and relaxed in the chug zone. Didn't get frustrated. It was just a great performance all around by William.
Yeah, no, I loved what he did there. You can see on this next beer, I think this is his 3rd beer. Oh, no, this is that frustration. Oh, no, it's just outgassing there.
Yeah.
That's going to be a natural part of it, too, is you got to get the air out.
100%.
What would you say is your secret to getting the air out?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the first 100 meters of running is kind of forcing some of those burps out. So kind of like to compare it for people in the, anyone's tuning in tonight and hasn't chugged a beer recently, maybe you took a big slug of pop or something like that, and that natural burp comes out. You want that natural burp. If it doesn't come out, you kind of got to force it out a little bit. So the first 100 meters of each lap should not be focused on the pace. It should be, let's get some of the carbonation out, which you saw there in each of Williams' attempts.
Yep. All right, so we're just going to take a pause here, get ready for the next heat. We've got the women's race coming up here in just a moment. All right, we're back. All right, so, just like this weather out there, it's questionable, just like the questionable life choices that people make in doing this sport. So, about to talk about the art of chugging, but just from a former legend, the guy that wrote the book on it, give me your first take. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but what are the important things about understanding chugging?
100%. There's a couple quick things. First one is, what vessel are you drinking from, a can or a bottle? Big decision for every beer miler out there. Most of the elites you're going to see here tonight, bottles. They're a little bit quicker, but you got to be able to handle that pace. So, a beginner beer miler, start with cans, take it a little easier. Second big thing is how your technique is. So, big thing, you're going to see a lot of people drinking beer out there a little bit differently tonight, but you got to do what works for you. The biggest thing in the chug zone is staying calm and composed. So, we'll see how the athletes do tonight.
Yeah, and we've got a quick little bit here on the art of chugging. So,
in the world of those who can do, those who can't teach, I'm here to educate you on the art of the chug. Anyone can slam a beer, but it's another story when you're staring down 3 angry barrels of malted barley and hops. There are 3 key factors. 1, top athletes decelerate down the last 100 meters and begin to control their breath. 2, after grabbing your beer, most take an exhale or a modest inhale, slowly angle up the bottle, standing completely upright with shoulders back. 3, walking towards the finish line, slowly tip the bottle up, allowing for a continuous pour without causing the beer to churn, which will reduce foaming. Ideally, you want to avoid bringing your beer up and down and doing it all in one slug. Finally, upon chugging, athletes drop their beers bottom down into the receptacle before starting on the next lap, slowly accelerating and outgassing. Typically, your fastest part of the race is from 75 meters to the 300-meter mark. Then it's a sufferfest all the way home.
And we are here with our winner of the Legends and Emerging Elites, William Purifoy. How you doing today, William?
Doing all right. Lewis, how about yourself?
Doing really well. Really excited so far with a lot of great chugging, a lot of great running out there. Why don't you walk us through our race out there? Absolutely.
So first beer, gun goes off. As soon as I popped the bottle cap, I made the mistake in dropping my bottle opener after first beer. I'm used to twist-offs, so one hand's used to just being loose, and so I dropped my bottle opener. Didn't realize until probably 3 gulps in. I was like, oh shit, I need to grab my bottle opener. And then just continued chugging away until that beer was done, and then just kept going on the run.
You know what? You stayed composed. We saw it live, but you didn't freak out. It takes a lot of composure during a regular mile. I think it takes a little more composure during the beer mile. A lot more going on. How many beer miles have you done before, William? You had it here in the Emerging Elite. That definitely wasn't your first one. I've seen you moving along. What was your best prior to today? Walk us through that.
So this is my 7th official beer mile I've ever done. When I say official, I mean just 4 legit beers, at least 5% alcohol, either at a track or on the roads. And my PR before today was 5:37. That was my latest beer mile before today. So that was my kind of time entry for this race.
Amazing. And what were you thinking? John Markle, founder of the Beer Mile, puts on this event, really supports it every year. He takes off after 6 seconds on the first beer. How did you stay composed? What was going through your mind, when they took off in front of you there?
I saw him take off as soon as I got my bottle opener off the ground, and I thought, oh, man, this is going to be a tough race. Shout out to John, though. He's done a lot for this great community in this beer mile world, and he's done so much good for the sport, and I fully respect him and everybody else that is a part of it and putting it on. So it's just been an absolutely great experience, and look forward to coming back next year, depending on where it's at. So.
That's amazing, William. And then what's the goal for next year? Get in that U.S. Elite top section? Is that the goal?
Absolutely. Get in the championship race. I think I have the tools to do it. I'm pretty good. I was in pretty good running shape prior to today. I think I just need to practice my chugging, make sure I get it down each one in one go. I think a couple of the breaks there slowed me down by at least a few seconds. And
we were talking about that in the live feed. Honestly, we were saying, you know what? You got it all down. The running looked great. Even the beer drinking looked really good and controlled with that strategic pause. It's that next final, the hardest thing, getting each beer down in one go, being able to hold your breath for those 6-7 seconds straight to get that beer down. That's 10, 12 seconds off your time alone. So.
Absolutely. And my concern going in today was just the feeling of burping or the fear of having a reversal of fortune during the chugs. And so part of me was just a little hesitant and scared. It's a very scary feeling, as we all know, anybody that's done a beer mile. But I think that just trusting your stomach, trusting your guy, knowing that, if you can just get through that 7 seconds efficiently or 6 seconds efficiently, you can just get off and running and keep going, and then the rest kind of just takes care of itself. So.
And at the very top, that's a big thing the viewers should know as well, is it's, being able to drink the beer 1 second faster doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're holding your breath, you're running, very, very fast around the track, holding your breath, oxygen debt, that extra second not only saves you a second in the race, but also helps drink the beer quicker because you're not holding your breath as long.
Exactly. And one thing I learned as well is the pop-offs are definitely harder to do. So, getting used to that feeling as well, getting used to both twist-offs and pop-offs, I think is essential.
Yep. 100%, William. Well, hey, we appreciate you coming out here today. That's awesome. I guess final question for you. What's one quick tip you have for everyone out there watching here tonight? If they're going out and doing their first beer mile, what's your one big tip for them?
I would say just trust your fitness if you're doing, for the running portion, and also just on the beers, just trust your stomach, and I would say practice your chugging techniques. I think that's the big thing a lot of people mess up on, I think, is their technique is not exactly right. Mine's not perfect, but I think it's decent enough to at least get through.
I'd say it's more than decent out there, William. You did a great job today. Congratulations on winning the Emerging Elites and Legends race, and we'll see you down there on the track later.
My pleasure, Lewis. Thank you so much.
Back to you.
3-time champion Allison Grace Morgan seeks redemption at this year's Beer Mile World Classic. With her world record broken not once but twice in Chicago last year, can she reclaim her place at the top? Or will Elizabeth Lassiter push for the repeat win, or perhaps be the second woman ever to break the 6-minute barrier? Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the Women's Championship. Up next.
All right, looks like we are back. Oh boy, now it's the women's race. Now we're getting the meat of the program. I am actually really, really excited about the women's race this year.
It is going to be exciting out there. As a reminder, in our women's race, we have Team US versus Team Europe, and it is going to be a barn burner out there. For all the fans watching, 6:30 is kind of that time that gets you in the top 10 all-time. Years and years ago when racing beer miles, there wasn't as big of a, results system for it. But now it's been a good decade since we've brought these races to the forefront. So getting in the top 10 is a really hard task. So
yeah,
see how many women can break that 6:30 mark today.
It's a big challenge every time. It's oh boy, there's so many legends in this race right now. I mean, this group here is legends in their own right. Elizabeth Lassiter right now chasing that 6-minute barrier. She was close last year. Set a world record that was also dethroned again by Shelby Houlihan. But in terms of the official championship race, she's got the championship race record. Trying to be the second female ever under 6 minutes. That is awesome.
Absolutely amazing. And for perspective for everyone out there, 6:03 is that official championship record here as we see her on the screen. She's got to be doing 90 seconds per beer and lap if you take the beer and the lap. So there's no messing around in the chug zone. There's no messing around in the track here. These girls are here for business.
Yeah, absolutely. And we always see something unique that happens in the women's race. So when we had the race in Leuven, Belgium, Elizabeth had that little misfortune of stepping over the line when she thought she'd finished the beer. There was a little bit of confusion about where she was going to drop her bucket. So that disqualified her from that championship, which led to Melanie Posdahl being the world championship that year. Not to take anything away from Melanie's time, that is one of the fastest chuggers in the group right there.
I agree, and I think as more and more hopefully join us here on the live feed as we go, just a quick reminder of the rules. We are here for the beer mile, which is 4 laps of the track, 4 beers. You start with a beer in your hand, you drink it. You have to drink it in a 9-meter zone. As the camera will pan in a moment, you will see it lined in a white line. You must drink the beer in that zone, then start your lap. You'll see it right there in front of you. That is the chug zone, and that is the most important part of the entire race. It always typically comes down to the chug zone, and you'll see very many different techniques in the women's race here. There's many ways to get that beer down fast, and we're looking for a great race here today.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a deep field. We have Allison Grace Morgan, former world record holder as well. We have Corinne Fitzgerald from USA, Claire Purcell, Cassandra Marin, who's been a regular fixture in these races as well. And then let's not count out Team Europe with Laura Ritchie's leading the way. She is like the spirit animal of the beer mile, always entertaining to watch a race. She goes out flying fast, but has a habit of getting disqualified. And then we have Anna Camp and Frida from Team Sweden representing Team Europe.
And it does not seem to matter how far behind Laura Ritchie's is after the first beer. 200 meters into the race, she'll be at the front. No doubt.
No doubt.
She takes it out hard, and we love it. Maybe today will be the day Laura hangs on and can win this damn thing.
Yeah, might be. If she can just keep the beer down, not get herself on the overage or the reversal of fortune.
Yeah, it's two big threats for every beer miler, and you know what? As a reminder to everyone tuning in as well, it is a team competition, and it is cross-country style scoring. So your first 3 competitors across the line, lowest score wins. So we have 3 women from Team Europe in the field there, and then 6 from the US. So it will be a head-to-head competition here, and it'll be very interesting to see how it plans out. As we said before, you will see immediately upon the first beer many different chugging styles. There is our current world record holder being called to the line, our current meet record holder at 6:03. We'll see how these women do today. Once again, 6:30 gets you in that top 10 all time. I think a lot of these women will be pretty happy with that time.
Yeah, this is a very seasoned field too. They've been in several world championships. I don't know if there's really a rookie in this group.
No, yeah, I think they've all been around. Unlike our men's race that we're going to have coming up, there are some rookies to the World Classic, which will be interesting. So you will see them all grab their beer here. They do have to grab their beer. Flying Monkeys, we should plug some of our sponsors here for sure,
absolutely.
Travis.
Yep.
Both Athletic Brewing and Flying Monkeys are our lead sponsors here today. Appreciate them both supporting this event. You will see everyone drinking the Flying Monkeys beer there. That is regulated, 5%, the right beer size, and they must start behind that line. No beer can be opened until the gun goes, and all the beers on the table there are unopened, so every athlete must open their own beer. I think we're under starters orders here, Travis.
Yep, I think we will wait for the start of it.
Super exciting, 10th annual here.
And we got Corey Gallagher going through the rules here. Former world record holder himself, now has moved off the track and into officiating.
Yes, and Corey will be strict with the rules out there. You were mentioning earlier we had a female a couple years back. You see the chug zone. You must finish your beer before you leave that chug zone and get rid of the beer. So unfortunately, she'd stepped across that line while still with the beer in her hand. That's an instant DQ. So let's hope none of our athletes here do that today. Pretty strict rules for a fun but very serious event here at the World Classic.
Yep, and we're off. All right, so we're at 3, 4, 5. Watch Laura Ritchie's come straight out. Liz has a really odd kind of up, down, up, down. Melanie Posdahl, best chugger in the group. No surprise she's out first. Watch Laura Ritchie's as she will just rip the first 400 meters. It is absolute chaos when she starts out this race, but you can see this actually turning into a pretty good foot race here. But, you not to forget Allison or Liz. They'll slowly just start working their way back up the field, more methodical about their running approach.
And breaking down the beers, that was an 8-second beer by Melanie there. Really quick for our women's field here. As we said, 200 meters in, there's Laura Ritchie's at the front. She's flying out there. Definitely got some good foot speed in her. But we'll see how this goes. The women's race tends to string a little quicker, but then in the chug zone always come back together. So we're going to have to see some patience here as we go on there for 2 of our favorites for the race here today from the U.S.
Yeah, 2 of the favorites right there in second and third. But, I'll give some credit. Melanie is looking really aggressive this year.
And they're flying. Like, they're coming in here. When they grab their beer, they're going to be under 80 seconds. Which is flying, which, as we said before, first lap, first beer is always going to be by far the fastest. But
well, under 80 seconds, that is right at world record pace. So
correct.
Let's see what they do.
And there we see Melanie going after it. If she can get it down in the women's field, if you can get the beer down in one go, it is a massive advantage. Most of the women cannot do that. And you'll see here again, Elizabeth with her unique style of drinking, but she's out the chug zone already.
Yeah, Elizabeth does the up, down, which is very unconventional, as well as Allison Grace Morgan. She'll do a little bit of a double pump, and she does the two-hander. She'll hold both hands up as she's doing hers.
Yep, and it looks like we got US 1, 2, 3 here early on. There's Laura Ritchie. Laura just struggles a little bit more in the chug zone, but we'll see with that run speed, her coming back into the field here. There's Laura at the front of our screen there. And we got to change of leaders here, Travis.
Not a surprise right now. Probably our runaway favorite for this race today. Looking pretty smooth, so she's just a little bit under pace of what she needs to be after the first beer, but you can make her break with, the rest of it. So
100%. And we want to see her grabbing her beer at 250 is where she grabbed the beer last year. So looks like she's pretty much on that. We'll see how we do as we come into beer number 3 here. This is arguably the hardest part of the beer mile. Beer number 3, you know you got one more to come up. So
absolutely, it is a struggle getting that third beer down, because once you get the fourth beer, adrenaline starts to kick in. You know you're almost done. You just got to get it. So we're at 252, and where do we need to be?
Yeah, that's where we're at. So we want to see her leaving the zone here by 3:12. That would put her on pace. So she got a bit of time. She's using that unique technique as we talked about, kind of many different efforts at it. But if she gets out here by 3:12, that's kind of her looking to be on pace. So she's going to be just a little behind. But there's another lead change again, Travis.
Yeah, I told you, she is amazing out of the chug zone. I'll give Melanie full credit. That girl can chug with the best of them.
Yep. And as we say, a lead change, and here's another one coming up. Elizabeth coming back to the front. Melanie's helping push that pace for her, keep us on world record pace here, hopefully. So this is a great showing. Amazing to be here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Got a great crowd out in the stands cheering on all the athletes in the chug zone.
Yeah, it was a great shot there of Cassandra and Claire in the chug zone as well. But look at the foot speed difference on that aerial shot that you had, where you just see Liz just pulling away. She is putting together a really, really good race. I think she might. There's Frida leaving the chug zone right there. I don't know. It's going to be close. We're going to be right on 6-minute pace if she can pick it up just a little bit.
Yeah, she's moving out there. She's giving herself a chance. It'll come down to what she's got in the last lap. And an interesting talking point for us, Travis, is some athletes can go out and do the beer mile and run pretty darn close to what they can run in a flat mile. Corey Bellemore, a few others, as well as Elizabeth here, where some athletes, it slows them down quite a bit slower than their mile time. So, you know what? The last lap of the beer mile can be really hard and slow, or some people can fly. Let's see what Elizabeth's got here.
We are in the chug zone. We need to be at 4:51 or 4:51
when she leaves. Yeah,
4:51 when she leaves.
And she was bang on 4:28 coming in, which is tying her time from last year.
If she can get this thing down,
struggling.
She can get this thing down.
This is the hardest thing in the world.
A little bit slower than we saw last year with hers on her fourth beer, but she's way ahead of pace.
Melanie's on her shoulder, putting the pressure on.
Oh, yeah. She's
going to leave first again. It's going to be another
exchange. All right,
exchange.
She's about 4 seconds behind where she needs to be for her record pace. But
what's she got in the legs?
I think she's got the drive in it. That is a burner of a time right out of there on that first 100 meters.
And let's say we got a close race here for third as well, I think.
Yeah. Would you say, though, that the first 100 meters of each lap is like your slowest part as you ramp in and out gas?
Yes, and for sure on the last lap, what I always tried to do was each 100 meters ramp it up a little bit, because you don't want to take off sprinting and have a reversal on the back straight. So
absolutely,
you ramp it up a little more. When you can see the finish line, you can just put the full gas down, because you know as long as you get across that line, you're good to go, Travis.
Yeah, she is pumping hard right now. We're at 5:36. It's going to be close. I'm thinking probably she's going to be right around 6:06 at this point, but who knows?
We'll see where she's at. She's on the final home straight now. We'll see if we can get the camera look at it. We're looking for a 6:03 here. She's just behind the officials there.
Question is, now it's going to be a race for third. Who's there?
And let's talk about
That's Corinne there, finishing up her last beer. So we have the last athlete out, and we are looking at just off her best. 6:06 right on the dot, like I called it. Yep.
And it looks like the U.S. is running away with the team title here. They've been running from the front the whole way, top 3 across the line. Should be important to note to all of our spectators as well that there is a measuring of the beers afterwards. So, you know, someone watching for the first time might think, how do you actually know they finished that beer?
Oh, that's an important point. We got Anna Camp finishing. Is that second or third? I can't tell.
I believe that is third, because I think, third or fourth.
That's fourth.
Yeah.
That's fourth right there. And Laura Ritchie's. Maybe not her favorite day out here, but
not far off, Travis.
Yeah, but it looks like she actually finished, meaning didn't have the reversal of fortune. We'll see what her measurements are. But that is an important part, is you have to have all 4 beers with no more than a combined 4 fluid ounces of overage for it to be official. You get that, you're fine. In this format here, if you happen to have a reversal of fortune, instead of the traditional penalty lap, there she goes. Oh, it's coming up. But it's just a 2-minute penalty, because with FAT, it's impossible for them to keep track of it.
Correct. And in the standard beer mile rules for everyone listening, if you typically have a reversal of fortune, the beer comes back up, you got to run an extra lap at the end. For the simplicity of today, an extra 2 minutes. But for everyone at home, if they're drinking a beer watching this right now, an ounce, you might think, what does that mean? If you got a bottle of beer in front of you, put your finger up next to the bottom of the bottle. That's about an ounce. So they drink the beer. There's a lot of foam involved in other things. So we give them 1 ounce each.
Got a little race in the caboose between Frida
right now, it's
and,
happening on the home straight. If we get the camera angle, it's a sprint finish.
Right, exactly. And
looks like Frida's there.
Oh,
here we go. And Corinne coming back. Corinne did it.
So it's Corinne just kicking it in. Saw her actually run a really, really good race at the U.S. Championships that we had before Leuven. That was kind of her first big foray into this event. We had a small U.S. Championships. Was a lot of fun. But there you see the results. We got Elizabeth Lassiter in first, Melanie Posdahl in second, former champion, and then former world record holder Alison Grace Morgan there in third. It's
a U.S. 1, 2, 3 sweep.
Yeah, it's. I think we can score that one. It's probably fair to assume that even if there's a potential disqualification in there, there's enough to score it. And it's just love the thumbs up by Claire there.
Carnage on the finish line, as there usually is. Allie Morgan here. And yeah, as we said, 4 ounces allowed. And if it comes down to it where you have more than 4 ounces, unfortunately, depending on the race, either disqualification or an extra 2 minutes added as well, I believe. So 2 minutes takes you out the race. If you get 2 minutes added to your time, you're pretty much the caboose in the results.
Yep. And then hopefully we'll see Liz come up here in the booth in a few minutes. But really proud of this group of athletes out there today. They ran really, really well in incredibly muggy conditions.
Totally. And as you'll see there, they all got their custom Flying Monkey beers as well to be able to race in. Our open heats earlier, we're using our Athletic Brewing as well. So thank you again to those two sponsors putting out great products for us here today to use.
Yeah, it makes it couldn't do it without help from people in the community and our sponsors. So love the fact that it's something that everybody gets involved in, and we hear about it. We hear about it from all over the world. Like, hey, how do we host this race? How do we participate in it? If I look back going to Leuven, actually, first time in Europe was actually in London, which we did twice. But Berlin was a lot of fun. It's really where we started seeing some traction around the rest of the world. So we had teams from the Czech Republic. We had the Germans involved that year. The Finns and the Norwegians brought a team. I think we even had somebody from a solo from Israel. So just it grows all the time.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing that can be done almost anywhere in the world.
Yep, and we're going to see some highlights from the race here as we saw with that odd little like up down that Liz does.
That's led to 2 championships in a row, though, for her, so it's working.
Yeah, it's working. And Melanie, just a consummate chugger right there. It is impressive how fast she can put that thing down.
And want to kind of give big round of applause there. Big congratulations to Melanie as well. She put the pedal to the metal. She was on her shoulder the whole way. If Elizabeth even had a small falter, she was going to be there to take the championship, so good effort from her as well.
Well, we still have to wait on official measurements, too, so nothing is official yet. These are unofficial results that we're seeing. I think it's fair to say we can probably park the U.S. as the women's champion this year, so they will be taking home the Queen's Cup. Laura Rich is out there. Just always love seeing her out there. It's just so much fun when she participates.
Yeah, and a great vibe down on the track. We can hear kind of some of the background noise down there. Hundreds of people out here tonight, as you see on the Chug Zone. Bit of a unique angle there. You might not be able to see it all the time on the camera, but we have a great crowd out here in Windsor, Ontario, cheering on this group of women and soon to be the elite men.
Yeah, and look at how fast she just swipes that thing off. That's a person who knows her sport, who knows her craft. She just grabs it really quick, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then watch Melanie just, it's gone. You might notice, though, on the track, just for those at home, this is the first race on this resurfaced track. It was resurfaced on Monday. That's why we only have the Chug Zone lines. There's no track lines. Those are going to come later in the week. So it's not a funny business track. This is a completely measured, legit, ratified track that's the University of Windsor runs on. So what a great afternoon.
And what do you think, Travis? When someone approved a budget to resurface this track, do you think that person thought that the first race held, the first people running on the track would be a beer mile?
I don't know if they knew that was going to be something that was going to be coming, but you can call it a christening of sorts. Some people do it with a bottle of champagne, they break it on. Nope, it's going to be someone's chunder right there on that surface.
And you can see Elizabeth here again, just committed to it. She just knows her practice. She would have practiced not dozens of times, hundreds of times doing this. And you know what? Whatever technique works for you, works for you. And one of these days we're going to have a female come along who can drink them all in one go and run pretty darn fast. And you know what? There's a lot of room there on that world record, that's for sure.
Yeah. In terms of this one or the actual official, like, known world record that Shelby ran last year, that 5:42. But these are still just smoking times. Not quite Elizabeth's time that she had last year, but still, like, right
Very
on par.
close.
She's super consistent. I really think that, potentially next year, I really believe she's got a 550 in her.
I think all it comes down to, and maybe we'll talk to her later on. We'll see when she's got us up here. We'll ask her a little more about her technique, but it seems like she takes 5-6 efforts at each beer. If she can get that down to 2 to 3, it's 15 seconds right there.
She definitely has the motor to do it. That leg speed is fantastic, and her strength is unreal. It is so hard to do this.
Yeah. All right, we're going to have a few clips here of what we refer to in the beer mile as reversals of fortune. When the beer decides that it's not going to stay down, it is going to come back up. And you can see those buckets there. We're doing our best for the University of Windsor here on their new track. We've given dedicated buckets for athletes who, need to get some of that beer back up, Travis. It doesn't feel great. A lot of athletes, I'm sure, would agree that they run a flat-out mile and they might want to throw up after. Imagine a flat-out mile with, a couple liters of beer in your stomach.
Yeah. And, you just can't say enough about this field. It was a pretty deep field. I think the last place was under 8 minutes. So I think it was like around 7:30 something. So that's not a big spread.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that'll be us wrapping up most of our women's field with the men's coming up shortly. We'll see if we get Elizabeth up here for an interview, whether or not. But that's it for the women's. And in a few minutes here, everyone stay tuned. Don't leave your seats. We're coming up with the men's race shortly.
All right, we're back. That's Corey Bellemore right there, and Chris Robertson, the #1 and #2 people in the world right now.
And it's going to be an exciting barn burner of a racer, that's for sure. Corey Bellemore, Chris Robertson, top 2 all time. Corey here in his hometown, racing in Windsor, Ontario. We're on for quite a race here, Travis.
Little side story, John Markle and I were here on Thursday, walked into a bar, and we saw a little running group coming in. We were walking out of it was a brewery, walking out of the brewery, and like, oh, like, hey, are you, do you know about the race this weekend? They go, you mean Corey's? The guy's a legend around here. He is like, you could call him the de facto mayor of Windsor, Canada right now.
He's the man. He's definitely the man, and we'll see what we see from him tonight. I think last year he was in the shape to break the world record again. 4:30 with one shoe on. That's the story. You'll see him there in the custom Canada Flying Monkey speed suit. It's going to be a great race we got going on here tonight in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got a little bit on Corey, and we'll talk more about him here in just a moment. This is absolutely incredible. He is right at world record pace right now. The fact that he's running shoes. He is coming, and at the line, it's going to be just shy of his world record. I definitely think the shoe played a huge factor right there.
We are back, and that was a great little cut scene there. Corey, 3-time world record holder for the standard, 1 time for the cans, 4:49 with the cans, 4:28 with the bottles.
Well, you also got to put a asterisk on there. There's also a 1 shoe race that he set last year. With the unfortunate, the Brit clipping his foot right out the gate in that crowded start. And he was still under world record pace after 2 laps, but that foot just got him towards the end. Things split wide open. Came in with a fully bloody sock, just gritted it out, and still ran the 2nd fastest time of all time, just off his world record.
We'll see that Adidas speed suit, those Adidas spikes. Let's hope to God both those shoes stay on tonight. And for perspective out there, 4:28, the world record. In that race, he averaged 60 seconds per 400, 4-minute mile. There's only been so many humans that have run a 4-minute mile without beers, Travis.
Well, let's talk about Vancouver. I was there for that one. At the 4:24, it was sub 4-minute mile. We did the math, analyzed the video, took out the beer time.
3:57, 3:58.
3:57, 3:58. The guy is world class in terms of just pure track and field. And then he does this as a side sport.
He thought, you know what, why not run a 4-minute mile, take a 7-second pause to drink a beer between each lap.
Yeah,
pretty much what he's doing out there.
I mean, how many people can run just a sub 60, just flat start, but
Very,
repeated
very
times
few.
full?
You took 1,000 people off the street, put them on the track to run a sub 60, you probably get a handful at most.
At most. And then don't forget about Chris, the American record holder at 4:36. Also one of the fastest, perennial leader in this race. Also the leader of Beer Mile Media, which he's one of the people that helps put this event on year over year, along with Nick and John. So we couldn't do it without him. He's the one that you could call him the online hype man.
Correct.
For what we do.
I think Beer Mile Media, Athletic Brewing, Flying Monkey, Long Run Coffee, those are our big 4 supporters here today. And Chris, consistently on the podium at this event over the last decade. I think he's one of very few that have taken part in almost every year of the race. So we'll see. Once again, we're talking about individuals here. Let's talk about the team competition a little bit as well. U.S. has been on an absolute tear for many, many years in a row. Here today we got Team Canada, Team U.S., Team Europe. It looks like the kind of closest level playing field we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's we were thinking it was going to be Team World. Unfortunately, we didn't have the representation from Australia this year, so it's really more Team Europe, but it still works the same way. There's some great athletes from Europe too. Got Tom from Belgium. I got to say the Belgians, there's actually 2 Belgians this year. One of the best track and field races I've ever seen was in Leuven, Belgium, when the Belgians, who are rookies at doing this, absolutely came screaming down the backstretch. It does help when you have a guy that made the finals in the World Championships in the 1,500 meters on your team, but it was just absolutely awesome. You saw Chris Russell right there, been around for the sport for a while.
Marcus
There's Marcus, the Swedes. Those guys bring the energy to every event. It's just him representing the country this time instead of a full squad, but they always came in big numbers, and oh boy, London that first year was absolutely just epic watching the pre-party, the pre-race, post-race race. Those guys just keep racing regardless.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be, once again, to tell if anyone's just tuned in, men's race going very soon. Everyone is drinking the Flying Monkeys beer here. Level playing field. 5 men from Canada, 5 men from US, 5 from Europe. Top 3 count. In a matter of minutes here, Travis, we're going to have a world champion and a world champion team. 5 minutes is the golden target in the men's elite field. There's only been about a dozen men all time that have broken 5 minutes. We have a handful of them here tonight. We'll see what goes down.
Well, you're one of them.
I am one of them, and it's a hard feat to do. You got to get out hard. You can't be fearful out there in the beer mile. You got to just run hard, chug hard, hope everything stays together.
Yeah, you got Garrett Cullen, another one of those sub 5 minute former record holder himself. So he's been doing this kind of from the beginning as well. Another guy, probably the best technical drinker out of the field right there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the big thing here too is we got a lot of new faces as well. Like looking at Team Canada, only 2 guys, Corey and Gabe Giglione. Haven't seen him in a few years. Came, committed last minute. He's out here. He was part of one of the early years as well. So, 3 rookies for Team Canada out of 5. That's interesting. And even for the U.S., we got a few new faces as well.
Yeah, we got 3 rookies from the Team U.S. Hayden, Joe, and Andrew. We also, the U.S. actually snuck in a 6th guy, but he doesn't actually count. Nate Beach out of San Francisco, because by time he qualified to be in this race. Look for him to put in a quick time. And then, we've talked about the Europeans. So we've got Marcus from Sweden. You've got Neil from Belgium, as well as Tom. Tom is just the ladies' favorite in the race every year. And then you've got Chris. And then we also, first time ever, Portugal. You got Pedro Gaspar in this race.
5:16. That is extremely respectable. 5:16. And the dangerous thing here, Travis, for everyone to know at home is the people who are newer to the sport are the ones you got to keep the eye on. Because if they haven't done many beer miles, by the time I've done 5 beer miles, I'm getting a lot quicker still. By the time I've done 20, probably getting close to the quickest I'm ever going to do it. Where, I don't know how many beer miles Pedro's done, but he's new on our scene. So maybe we'll get a surprise performance here.
Sky's the limit. Take a look at Corey. We didn't know who Corey was in 2016 when there was a video that got posted online. Nick McFall saw it, found a way to get a hold of him. 48 hours before the race, said, "Hey, we'll buy you a ticket. Can you get yourself to London?"
Yeah, incredible.
And he shows up and sets the world record. people were thinking, 5:45 that may, 4:45 that may be the kind of the limit. He goes and runs 4:34.
Yeah.
And has been progressively getting.
And there he is on
faster.
the screen. And his brother, we should mention all of Team Canada, Canadian myself. His brother Justin Bellemore there to his left. This is his inaugural Beer Mile World Classic. We've also got Maxime Lapierre and Alex Magus. So we'll see here, Canadian and myself, American and you, Travis. Who knows? Maybe Europe will surprise us all.
Ooh, yeah,
it's going to be really, really close.
Yeah. I did see Gabe actually run a race, the IPA 10K in Northern California, out in Sebastopol, Petaluma, Sebastopol. But anyway, the IPA 10K is a great race that gets put on every year out there. He just showed up.
He is, Gabe has been a nomad for many years, living in many parts of the world, building the running community, incredible work. And you know what? Flew into Canada yesterday, drove into Windsor today. He's here, he's ready to rock. He did admit he's not in the best running mile shape. He's been doing some ultramarathon stuff, but you know what? We'll see what he brings today, Travis.
Well, one other small factor in this race is that Corey was at a wedding just a couple of days ago. So
correct.
Did he put himself behind the 8 ball? Does he have the championship chops today to set a new world record? I think he does.
Corey's
looked good.
Pretty smart guy. I don't think he'd let the Thursday night get away from him. I'm sure he had his fun, but also kept this in mind. And in his hometown, can't see from the camera angle there, but if it panned just an inch to the left, you'd see hundreds. There we go. Hundreds of people out here tonight cheering on from the local community, and quite incredible. Nick McMacken is the individual who got married on Thursday night. There's Corey and Alex to his left. Nick McMacken, who got married out in New Brunswick in Canada, which if you're in the States, it's kind of near Maine as the reference point there. He raced earlier today, and he came second or third in one of the open sections, running a really fast time. So the guy who got married is actually here tonight. The whole crew of them, about a dozen or 20 of them that were at the wedding, are now here tonight. So there's Corey.
Yeah, I want to say he was second in under 640.
Something like that, yeah. I think he was in the third section.
Third section, second. Correct. Yeah, had
something
a good
like
day.
That, under 640. So.
And there's Corey right there.
Check out the Custom Canada. You can see the Flying Monkey Adidas collab. Pretty cool kit there. And to his left is Andrew Benkovsky. 503 coming in. I don't think he hasn't been at too many of these official races, so he could be a bit of a dark horse as well. Going to be pretty key for the U.S. if they want to.
Yeah, we're about to cut away to the intro video here.
Questions are asked about the limits of humanity, and Corey Bellemore from Canada plans to answer the call. Will he establish yet another world record, or will he wilt in the spotlight, allowing another to swipe the crown? Chris Robertson hails from Chicago and hopes to make his new daughter finally proud by winning the title. Stick around. In mere moments, the men's championship race is next on the track.
All right, we're about to get started. There's some team introductions. There's Marcus pumping up the crowd like we always see.
It is exciting sitting here, Travis. I don't know about you. I'm shaking in my boots here. It's going to be an exciting next 4.5 minutes here.
So what do you think about the weather right now? It's like really, really humid. Fortunately, the weather held off. But do you think this is ideal racing conditions for beer? It's going to make it go down faster. Is it going to make it worse?
I think it's, you know what? I'm just taking a look out to see a flag there. The wind has died down a little bit, which I think is important. For a mile, humidity is important, but not as important as it would be for, say, a marathon. It stayed dry, Travis. It was meant to thunderstorm all afternoon. So, the beer mile gods are blessing us here. We'll see how these athletes do. I think it's pretty good at conditions out there.
Yeah, it held off last year in Chicago, and the next day it dumped.
Yeah,
but we didn't get our race. We didn't get our race canceled, but NASCAR did the next day, which was quite interesting.
And you'll see here at the University of Windsor Alumni Field. Thank you so much for them hosting us here as well, where Corey Bellemore went to university. And you know what? We got a great crowd out here that's going to be cheering on these men as they pound 4 beers and run 4 laps as quick as they possibly can. They'll call the athletes one at a time to the start line here, you'll see. And for anyone who's just tuning in, a quick reminder, the beer mile, 4 beers, 4 laps. Can't open the beer until you're about to start drinking it and the gun goes off. You're going to see that curved line at the kind of middle of your screen. It's the start of the chug zone. And the flat line just below it is where they must finish their beer. You must finish that beer, put it in the little containers you see out there on the track before starting your lap, and you go run 400 meters as quick as you can.
Yep, and you can't have more than 4 fluid ounces left in your bottle. We do measure that. That's really kind of one of the primary ways to get disqualified, or if you step over the line. And Corey Gallagher, our meet official. The reason why we made him our meet official, that guy found a way to bend the rules every time.
He did.
So
he was
he's the
sneaky.
ideal. Yeah, he's thinking.
He was always, I think the first time I met Corey at one of these things and was kind of thinking, oh, this guy's a bit of a gamer. He said, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what he said to me, Travis. So he is the best person to be our meet official because I think he's tried it all, so he can see it if it's going on out there. So very clear, the athletes must put their beer down in those bins with the bottom down. You can't turn it upside down so that a lot of the leftover pours into the basket. It is expected. If Corey sees anything, whether it's people pouring beer and spilling it on their face, turning beers upside down, there's Corey, our lead official there. He will give them a yellow card and say, hey, if I see that again, you're out of here.
Yeah. And the other part is this has been the highest level of custody for the beers that we've ever had, too, because of the rules in Ontario. But typically, athletes have to check their beers in before the race. We check them to make sure they're not been tampered with because athletes can do that.
Correct.
We've seen it once before in Vancouver. So he's the man right there. That's Corey, just making sure that we're keeping this thing legit. So if a record's broken or if a championship is made, it's ratified.
100%. And as we saw there with Corey, we want to say a quick thank you to all our volunteers here today as well. Absolutely fantastic. You'll see them in the yellow shirts. There is dozens of volunteers making this possible, as well as the officials. You'll see them in the white shirts. Athletics Ontario is our local kind of provincial track system, and we have 5 regulated officials here today. So this is legit.
This is as legit about it in terms of rules and officiating as it's ever been.
And there's John Markle.
Markle right there, the godfather of sport, the person who wrote the Kingston rules back in 1989.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get panned to the start line here again if possible. Just as they're introducing the athletes, would be nice to be able to kind of call them out as they go. But we're getting lots of big cheers here. There's Nick McFalls, co-founder and one of the leaders of hosting this every year in the yellow shirt. You'll see Corey to his left in the referee's jersey. And a whole lot of Flying Monkey beer there. That's about to be consumed.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of beer drank in the next 4 minutes.
That liquid gold right there.
Yeah, I think Corey will be on the inside of the track. Once again, we'll see. They're going to tell them to grab their beers here. So you'll see Corey on the very far right there. I believe Andrew Benkovsky to his left. You see Chris Robertson there. Also Chris Russell from Scotland, you can see on the left side there. So they're just making sure everything shakes out. You can see they've all got bottle openers. These bottles are kind of a pop top. So
that's an interesting question, though, because everybody's running with the same beers. Like, people can customize their own beers as their choice as long as it's 12 fluid ounces, 355 milliliters, and over 5% alcohol. They can do whatever they want.
Correct.
But there's screw tops, there's bottle openers. Do you think that bottle openers are going to play into it for people who've not used to it? Corey does it all the time, but what do you think it's going to matter for the other people?
Great question. So if I was in this field for the last couple months, I would have been practicing a lot, popping off those beers. And if you've been practicing it, it's like my opinion, the first beer should be like shooting a free throw. Should be very, very straightforward, repeatable. You can do it 100 times out of 100. So some of the field probably will struggle, Travis. If they haven't practiced, if they're used to a twist off, might be tough for them. We're about to find out here.
Yeah, I think we are just about to start, so
we'll leave it to the starter. And off we go. We'll see who's out first out of the chug zone. 5-6 seconds.
We'd expect Garrett Cullen to be first out, and sure enough he is. But look at how tight that is right from the beginning. You've got 6 runners all in a pack right there.
I don't see Bellemore. Where
He's
is he out there?
sitting in 4th right now, I think. But he'll a little bit out of front. He's just all the way out
so
front.
fast for the first 100 meters. We didn't even have him in camera shot.
Yeah.
So he actually had a very good first beer there. The big thing, the key for me, in my opinion, for Bellemore here today is to keep it calm on the first lap. In his last world record, he ran 55 seconds for the first lap. He was coming through 61 beer and lap. 55. He's on pace for a 340 mile.
I've mentioned this in last year's broadcast. The most impressive thing I've ever seen was when he ran after his world record in London. He ran a 55 in the relay.
Yeah,
that's
beer and
49 and 6 seconds.
Yeah,
and he's coming through. All right, where are we for a world record?
So we're
time
wanting
here?
him to grab his beer here at 61 to be on world record pace. So he's just about a second behind. But you know what? That's okay, Travis. You know what? Him pacing a little better. We want to see him out the zone by hopefully just over 70 seconds here. I think with him pacing it a bit better, he might be okay here. So we got him off in 73. Couple seconds behind his previous pace, but you know what? He really front-loaded last time. A 55-second opening lap is a little bit too much heat. So we'll see how Corey does. Chris in second, very commandingly. We got a U.S. athlete on the outside that should have already cut in, but that's okay.
Well, that was a 7-second beer right there. Not necessarily his fastest beer either, but you look at the temperature, you look at everything that's going on. You got Team Canada right there. I think that was Alexander.
That was Justin Bellemore.
Justin. Oh, it was Justin. Excuse me.
Yeah, and look, we're looking here. It looks like it's pretty bunched up, definitely for a medal position. Just trying to tell if that's the race for second or for third. Chris Robertson had said he isn't in his top form this year, but I think he's got a bit of a gap on the field. Portugal up there early. He's our new, as I said, hasn't run too many beer miles. The big thing too, Travis, as well, from being in there is if you're in that pack, you're used to running a beer mile by yourself out front. All of a sudden, there's some jostling and stuff going on. Not a worry for Corey Bellemore at all, though. He's way out in front of this field. We want to see him getting out of this zone, and hopefully around 2:17 is what he did previously. If we can cut to Corey here. Yep. There he is.
Corey is out in
2:20.
2:20.
So
all right.
That's okay. He's got to pick up the pace a little bit. And when I say pick up the pace, he's running these 400s quicker than I think I ever have in my life. So we'll see. It's a great race for second here, though. Chris Robertson has not created the space you might have thought he would have. Chris Russell hanging in there for Scotland.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Chris Russell. This is the furthest up the field I've seen him in the last 6 years.
And U.S. looking pretty strong up front. Andrew Benkovsky there. Hayden Burrell. I don't know where Garrett Cullen is in the field. Looks like he's a little further back than you would think. But there's Bellemore up out front. We'll see how he does.
He's about 3 seconds off his world record pace after that last beer, right over the line. But the guy's got wheels. You don't know what he's going to close in.
You really don't. And his world record, he was coming in and grabbing the beer at 3:20. He's going to be a few seconds behind that here, but we'll see how he closes. Chris Robertson is not safe for second place here. Chris Russell's only a few strides behind him.
Yeah, exactly. And you can hear that crowd chanting, Corey, Corey, as he's coming in for his third beer.
Hundreds of fans here.
All right, he's at 3:22 right now for that beer.
And he's going to need a pretty wicked last lap here. He's going to need a 57. Last time was 61, so he knows the world record's on the line.
That was a quick beer. He got way faster on that one.
And look at this race here.
Bunching.
The team race is far from over here, Travis.
Oh, yeah, no,
Very
it's wide open. Who's ever third for each team in that position is going to determine this race. But look at that gap.
It's just no one else is in sight.
He's a mile ahead of everybody else. You see Gabe coming around and Nate Beach right there.
That's a bit of the story of Corey Bellemore in the beer mile. It's him, and you'd think he's alone out there. He is flying out there, folks. Pretty close to a 4-minute mile. Less than 30 seconds for 4 beers. This is an incredible. I think we'll be a little bit off a world record here, but
I think we're looking at a 32-33 right now.
It's still going to be one of the fastest times all time that he owns all of them. Let's be clear on that. Second fastest all times, Chris Robertson, high 4:30s. Here's Bellemore driving away.
He is motoring, though. He is pushing down.
He is flying. And look at that.
4:30.
4:30 and change. And look, Chris Russell is in it. Is he
Chris
going to get
Russell? Holy smokes. For second, this might be. This is exciting. He's getting run down. Oh, wow.
Andrew Bevkovsky is coming through as well. Chris Robertson might.
Chris has got to work. All right, I'm starting to see Russell fading a little bit, but I am impressed. I am impressed with him.
And he's going to run a huge personal best here.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Huge personal best. 5:03, his personal best.
Did not expect that right there. 4:56, 4:58.
And he's doing another lap. He must have had,
No, he's just running through. That guy's feeling the euphoria of running a great race.
Going for his victory lap already. Well, Travis, I'm going to let you be here. I'm going to head down to the track, see if we can grab Corey for a little interview.
Yeah, sounds great. There's Corey Bellemore right there. What a great race by him right there. That is one of the fastest of all time. It's about the time he ran last year with one shoe. But the guy just makes it look absolutely easy. Just absolutely easy. As you can see here, coming right out, Garrett with that first beer pretty quick. Marcus, another great chugger. But somewhere in there, they can see just dividing the field right there, just parting the field like Moses and just creating that kind of distance that Corey's so used to. Only in Berlin was he really, really challenged in the first 3 laps and then opened it up on Chris in 2019. You just see him come in, grab that bottle opener really quick, see how smooth that is, boom, right down the gullet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 7 seconds there. I was a little off when I started my counting. Just makes it look smooth as he's cruising down the backstretch right there. Just maintaining his form. right there coming into his next beer. That's one of the key parts too. Your best racing is going to be the 200 meter mark, or sorry, the 100 meters in to 300 meters in. And there's Corey again coming around the next lap. So see him start that deceleration. See that deceleration right there? All right, and there's Corey coming right through, and that 4:30, almost 4:30 flat. We'll get the FAT on that here in a moment. But what a great race. Again, it's top 3, top 4 official times right there, but look at this race right there. Andrew just coming in.
All right, and we are here with Corey Bellemore here in his hometown, Windsor, Ontario. Amazing race out there, Corey. Walk us through how the race went for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to have these people out here. Super happy to put this on and bring it back to Windsor. So honestly, like, this is a dream come true. And
you can't.
Whether.
Sorry, can you hear us okay on the live feed? Just checking that. Can you hear us okay? Test 1, 2. Okay, we can hear you okay. Yep, you're good. All right, Corey, back to you. Finish up how your race went out there.
Yeah, the race was phenomenal. Definitely try to go a bit even pace laps, and happy that all these people came out. Happy to put on a show and close to the world record again. But I mean, nonetheless, like, putting on an event like this in my hometown is a awesome feat, so just happy everyone's here for sure.
You know what, Corey? No other human ever has run close to a 4-minute mile and drank beers under 30 seconds like you have. So tell us a little bit about what it means to be in front of the home crowd for the live feed, and then we'll let you speak to the people here live.
Yeah, I mean, stomach hurts a bit, so happy to suffer and feel like this when there's a bunch of people that I know and huge support, huge run community here. So yeah, I mean, you don't feel the pain as much and the suffering as much when there's people like that in the stands.
Well, we'll let you get to it, Corey. We're going to get you a live interview here in front of the crowd with your home people here. Congrats, Corey. What an amazing race.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Wow, that was just a great interview there. Great job. Great job by Corey. What an excellent race. Just showed up, business as usual, doing what he has to do as he's supposed to. Dominating the race. What's so much fun to watch. I'm trying to figure out the team scores here. As it stands right now, it looks unofficially like Team USA did come away with it with a second, third, and fourth. Garrett Cullen, if his beers hold up, well, if everyone's beers hold up, it looks like Team USA came away with the team title unofficially. It is going to take some sorting to figure out whether Team Europe or Team Canada was going to be second. The scoring was really tight. Some amazing times out there. Our last place time was 5:50, just top to bottom. All elite times, all fantastic. Marcus with a 5:10. Pedro Gaspar, the Portuguese guy, brand new, just came in at a 5:20. It is so exciting to see new faces in this field, everybody running epic times. You could still hear people chanting Corey's name. It's his home course. There's Marcus there. There's Chris. Chris had an absolutely stellar race. Probably the best I've ever seen him race in the years that he's ever been here. We've got a shot of their Nick giving a interview to the crowd with Corey. It's Corey's homecoming. I'm not sure if we can get any audio on that, but that's just see that big grin on his face. You can see Detroit in the background. We're just right over the water from there. So you got Andrew there at second at 4:57. So we had 3 guys under 5. Chris Russell right at 5 flat. As I mentioned, Pedro there from Portugal there at 11th. We had Joe. So Garrett was actually 10th, but coming back in. So Hayden, excuse me. Hayden was the 3rd American. So unofficially, it looks like Team USA won. I would probably say unofficially Team Europe in 2nd and Team Canada in 3rd. But as mentioned, those are going to be unofficial scores. They have to do the measurements, so we'll find out. These results will be posted to beermile.com later this evening. I want to make sure that we give a good shout out to our sponsors again, Flying Monkey and Athletic Brewing. They help make this event happen, but it can't happen without the athletes that come out here every year, put it on the line, risk embarrassment, reach for glory. It is just absolutely astounding for what we can do with the people that we have here. And there's a beautiful shot. This is Windsor, Canada, as I mentioned before, at University of Windsor. Beautiful, brand new blue track. Interesting, 2 years in a row that we ended up on blue tracks, but oh boy. Hopefully next year, it's high probability that it's going to be in Europe someplace. We're still sorting out the details of that, but it's going to happen again. We always love bringing back the best of the world, bring out the best of the community. You can see great shot of the crowd right there. There's Team USA celebrating potentially their King's Cup that will be awarded later tonight. There's Gabe Gaglione, as we mentioned, another guy that's been around the sport for a long time. All right, so we've got some highlights of the day here coming up on the next reel. So you can see John Markle in that open race and our first Croatian to ever show up in the international competition. There's Reed Lyon putting it away. It's a great race in that first opening heat. Didn't have the big surprises that we expected, wouldn't say that we expected, but we weren't surprised like we were last year from Bud Lightning. There's our winner right there in that first heat, putting that beer away. Had a great interview with him as well. So good job, William Purifoy. Dropping that beer in the bucket and just dominating the emerging and sub-elites. And from all of us here in Windsor, Canada, on behalf of the entire broadcasting team, this is Travis, and it has been a pleasure having everybody watch. I hope everyone around the world had a good, entertaining evening, and we look forward to doing this again next year. So cheers, everybody.
beautiful. What a looking boy.